it's easier to see here. This boat sits in the water to right about here. This is called the water line. I know because I measured it very carefully. Now, so this has a draft of about 2.5 feet. Would you agree? Now this is the tricky part, because up here we have a different number. How big is this number? So that's in the water. How big is this much right here?
1.5.
It's closer to 3 feet. Keep in mind that 3 feet from here to here, because you have to add that to the depth of the water. You have to add this part right here to the depth of the water to be able to determine how much line to put out. And okay, we'll walk back and then we'll. So Nancy says, hey, we're gonna anchor up here. Rafe, get the anchor out. Okay, you know what to do to get the anchor ready, but the thing you need to ask yourself is, in anchoring, how much line do I put out to keep that catenary, that and that's, you might as well learn the real name for it. They're bound to have a picture. Here we go. This is the standard picture. This is the standard picture of what we just talked about. You need to lean over here and look at it. Okay? Very long row, very short row. Okay? This is your this one down here is your one that's going to come free. Too short. The angle is too high right here. So if a wave lifts the boat, you got troubles. Scope is the magic phrase that we're talking about, is the length of the line from the top of the boat. You know, I said, so this is the water line, right? We got 2 feet down and we got 3 feet up. So if I'm in 10 feet of water, I need 13. My distance is 13 feet. You with me? And the length would have to be something, well, if I just put 13 feet in, it's going to be, the ratio is going to be, scope is going to be 1 because it's going to be 13 feet long and 13 feet straight down.
So
that will not hold.
yeah, right under it.
Obviously, the length, you can't change, by the way, the height of the boat off the water. You're not going to be able to change that. You just have to include that in the calculation. So all you can do is increase the length of the rope. So, but you have to keep into these other two things in mind. Plus, you have the length of chain. For me, on my boats, when I sail, when I get a boat ready, I like chain the length of the boat. I do that because, you know, that chain is what holds the anchor down, and as it holds the anchor down, it keeps the boat in place. And if I'm going to anchor, that's the whole goal of everything, keeping the boat where I want it to be. Your anchor is your absolute last ditch when you're in deep doo-doo. Have you guys ever heard of the St. Peter and St. Well, I think they need to tell you how deep the water is. And if they can't tell you, then you need to look at the chart or something. How deep's the water? You have to know that, because you need to know how much line that you need to be putting out. Now here's the magic. The scope needs to be 7. The length of the line needs to be 7 times the distance from the boat down to the ground. So in 10 feet of water with 3 feet of air draft, that's 13 feet. 7 times 13 would be 91. Do we agree?
Yeah.
So in 7 feet of water, in 10 feet of water, you're going to need to hang out just a little less than 100 feet of line. Does that make sense? That's the magic number. 7 feet is in regular weather. Now, if the weather blows bad, the winds are bad, it's a dangerous situation. You need to put 10 times the scope needs to be 10 times the depth. So that would be